what we observe experimentally. This paradox of this contribution of electrons to the specific heat was resolved by quantum mechanics, and as we know that in 1925 Pauli exclusion principle was given. In 1926 Fermi-Dirac statistics came, and Sommerfeld utilized these two discoveries, and he utilized both of these discoveries to formulate the quantum free electron model for electrons. So as we see, as we progress in this presentation, we will see that this model could remove many anomalies observed in Drude model, especially the thermal anomalies. So as I told you about Sommerfeld, Sommerfeld was a great scientist, but though he could never won a Nobel Prize, he was nominated 81 times for Nobel Prize, but unfortunately he could never won it. However, he was the mentor of 6 Nobel laureates, more than any other physicist. For example, he was the mentor of Werner Heisenberg, Linus Pauling, Debye, Bethe. These were his PhD students, and Pauling and Rabi were his postdoctoral research fellows. He also guided Rudolf Peierls, not for PhD but for his initial research works. Though Peierls completed his PhD under the supervision of Pauli, and we have a building in Oxford University named after this Rudolf Peierls. That is general information you can remember. So, as we are treating the free electron gas as per the quantum laws, so we can call the free electron gas as a quantum fluid. And the assumptions of this quantum free electron theory are more or less similar to that of Drude, that the electron in between the collisions does not interact with other electrons. It also does not interact with the positive ions. And but the difference here is that the electron motion is governed by the Schrodinger equation, whereas in case of Drude model, it was the Newton's law that governed the motion of the electron. So
Yeah.
here also it is assumed that the electron is moving in a constant potential. So constant potential can be equated to 0. That's why in Schrodinger equation we don't have any potential term, and this is the time independent Schrodinger equation. Minus h cross square divided by 2m del square psi is equal to the eigenvalue times the wave function. So eigenvalue is defined if you have any wave function, and that wave function is operated by any operator. In this case, it is Hamiltonian of the particle that consists of its kinetic energy. If it is the wave function is operated by Hamiltonian, and if we get the same wave function multiplied by some constant, that constant is defined as the eigenvalue of that operator, eigenvalue of that wave function. So free electron theory, this quantum free electron theory is a microscopic theory. On the other hand, the classical free electron theory was a macroscopic theory. And according to this theory, as I have told you, that the electron inside the lattice moves in a constant potential. However, their motion is governed by quantum mechanics. Since there is no potential present for the electrons, so we can solve the Schrodinger equation for a single and independent electron, and then we can invoke more other electrons, and we can see the collective behavior of all electrons. In order to solve the Schrodinger equation, we need to have the proper boundary conditions. For example, if we consider particle in a box, we have the certain dimensions of the box, let's say the box is of length L, then what we require is that the potential, the wave function of the particle should become zero at the boundaries. This will ensure that there is the probability of finding the particle outside the box is zero. And remember, this is the particle of outside this box. We have the infinite potential, and inside this box we have zero potential. That's why the probability of finding the particle outside the box is zero, and this will ensure that wave function of the particle should become zero at the box edge. However, here we need to consider the periodic boundary condition, not the boundary condition as given in the particle in one-dimensional box. Here we will consider the boundary conditions. These are called as Born-Parman boundary conditions or the periodic boundary conditions. And these periodic boundary conditions require that psi x plus L, y plus L, z plus L should be equal to psi x, y, z. It is equal to, if you have a cube and you fold it and you mix the two opposite ends of a cube, you will get a circle. So the electron is moving on a kind of a circle. So whatever is the wave function when it starts its journey, its wave function should be equal to when it terminates its journey at the same point. So those wave functions should be equal. That is the meaning of periodic boundary condition. Now we are considering a cube in which we have this electron confined, and the side of the length of each length of the cube is denoted by capital L. So it is just a choice for our convenience. We can have any shape because shape will not affect our calculation. So if we apply the periodic boundary condition on the motion of electron inside the cube, then as per the Schrodinger equation, we will get this three-dimensional wave function that would be given as psi k x y z would be equal to 1 upon under root v e to the power iota kx kxk plus ky y plus kz z, where kx, ky, and kz they are denoted as follows. Here I have shown only for kx, that is equal to 2 n pi over L. This periodic boundary condition will restrict the values of kx, ky, and kz. They cannot have any arbitrary value, rather they will have the definite value. Their values are quantized. So here V is the volume of the cube, and this factor ensures the normalization. We need to have the normalization of the wave function in order to have the finite probability of the particle that it is inside the cube. So then we get this wave function, and these eigenvalues come out to be h cross square a square by 2n. That is the energy eigenvalues. Similarly, we have another operator P, if and that is denoted by P cap equal to h cross divided by I into del. You know, this is the momentum operator in quantum mechanics. It has the eigenvalue h cross k. This means that if we operate this momentum operator on the previously defined wave function, we will get the eigenvalue of momentum operator equal to h cross. Here, this psi k wave function, it is as per the de Broglie formulation. It is not de Broglie, it is spelled as de Broglie. And it is the wave function of a free electron, and it represents a traveling wave with momentum equal to h cross k. So when we define momentum equal to h cross k quantum mechanically, we can see that the energy of the particle is equal to what we define classically as p square by 2m. So I think I need to stop here because we have only few minutes left and we have a lot more to discuss or to present, and we can start it in the next class on Monday, coming Monday. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, any question? Any question? If you don't have any question, then we should end the class, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for attending the class, and you can mark your attendance on WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Oh. So please submit your assignment on Monday, and you need to discuss it on Monday.
Sir, where we will be submitting it in the Google Classroom?
Google Classroom, if you can submit it there on Google Classroom, then it is fine.
Okay, sir.
सर आपको मेल कर देंगे तो नहीं चलेगा?
मेल कर दो, मेल बॉक्स भर जाएगा सारा।
ओके सर।
कहीं एक ऐसी जगह रखेंगे ना जहाँ पे क्लास होती है तो ज़्यादा बेटर रहेगा, और यदि डिफिकल्टी होती है तो फिर मुझे मेल कर